All right, we're about to take a deep dive into the underworld. But I want you to forget everything you think you know about fire, brimstone, and scary demons. We're going to uncover a secret about the rulers of hell. And honestly, it might just change how you see the entire cosmos.
So picture the king of hell. What comes to mind? Probably a terrifying figure, right? All about punishment and judgment. But what if I told you his biggest headache, the thing that keeps him up at night, wasn't about punishing sinners, but something, well, a lot more human?
Okay, so let's set the scene. Imagine a place on the very edge of the universe called Mount Tué. It's a realm of absolute darkness, a place that's really a metaphor for the ignorance that can trap all of us. And this place, it's run by some seriously intimidating characters. These are the Ghost Kings, and just listen to their names: Malicious Poison, Blood Tiger, Master of Disease, Master of Peril. They even have a Master of Life. I mean, these are not the names of folks you'd want to mess with. They are designed to command respect and, yeah, let's be real, a healthy dose of fear. Now, this is where the story takes a sharp turn. All of a sudden, these kings, led by the one and only King Yama, are zapped out of their dark world and summoned to a huge celestial meeting right in front of the Buddha. This just doesn't happen. It's a huge deal, and everyone there is thinking the same thing. Why on earth are they here? And this, right here, is where everything we thought we knew gets flipped on its head. You'd expect King Yama, the ultimate judge, to talk about cosmic justice or punishing the wicked, but no. He steps up and he asks a question that shows who he really is. He basically asks the Buddha, look, I see all these enlightened beings working so hard to help people, to save them from suffering, and it works for a little while. But then, before you know it, they're right back to their old habits, making the same mistakes again and again. Why? Why does this keep happening? Do you hear that? His tone isn't anger. It's this deep, profound frustration. It's sadness. He sounds less like a judge and more like a cosmic social worker who's just exhausted from watching people sabotage themselves. His focus isn't punishment. It's the tragedy of this never-ending cycle. That one question changes the whole game. It really forces us to step back and ask, are these Ghost Kings really the villains we've made them out to be? Or is their job something totally different? And this really breaks it down. Our common belief is that they're punishers, figures of fear. But the truth? They're more like enforcers of karma. See, they don't make the rules or invent the punishments. They're just there to manage the natural consequences of our actions, which, incredibly, means they're actually emanations of compassion. How is that possible? Well, it comes down to this really cool concept called Kuan. It basically means a provisional manifestation. In other words, these super scary Ghost Kings are actually enlightened beings, bodhisattvas, who are just wearing terrifying masks. It's a teaching strategy. They put on this fearsome show to get our attention so they can help guide us. So let's get this straight. They're not sadistic prison guards who enjoy tormenting people. They're impartial cosmic administrators. Their job is to make sure the universal law of cause and effect runs smoothly and fairly for everyone. The goal isn't cruelty, it's cosmic balance. Okay, so if their job isn't to scare us into behaving, what are we supposed to take away from all this? This new way of looking at them helps us move past that basic fear and into a much deeper feeling, a feeling of awe. Think about those names again: Master of Disease, Master of Peril. They're not threats, they're reminders. They're meant to wake us up to the fact that karma isn't some vague spiritual idea. No, it's at work everywhere, in our health, in our safety, in our very lives. They're just personifications of this immense, impartial, universal law. So, what's the big takeaway here? It's pretty simple, really. First, when you hear those scary names, see them as symbols for how karma touches every single part of our lives. Second, start seeing the underworld not as a place of punishment, but as another stage where compassion is at work. And finally, you can let go of the fear and instead just feel this profound awe for the incredible, intricate laws that govern our existence. And there's this quote from the source material that just says it all perfectly. The realm of judgment is also a scene of salvation, flowing with compassion. Just let that sink in for a second. It means that even in the place we imagine to be the absolute darkest, there's a purpose beyond pain. There is a mission to teach, and ultimately, to save. And that brings us right back to where we started, to King Yama's frustrating question. You know, maybe the greatest tragedy in the entire cosmos isn't some huge, epic evil. Maybe it's just our simple, human tendency to get ourselves saved only to wander right back into the very same traps we just escaped. And maybe that's what still worries King Yama the most.